A quick thing before we start this video, a big thanks to Cyril for making my awesome icons, so you're gonna see in a sec. And you should definitely check her out. Her Twitter and Twitch will be in the link below. So no further ado, to hit the intro. So, start the intro. What do you mean, intro? The anime intro, what do you think? Jesus Christ, do I have to do everything in here? Which button is it? This one. Smoking weed and watching Naruto for 15 hours was a really bad idea. I need a goddamn drink. Do some have whiskey around here? Hello and welcome to another episode of Get Good, the series where I help you to become better at a video game character. And today we're gonna take a look at Hanzo Shimada from Overwatch. So who is Hanzo then? Hanzo is the eldest heir to Shimada clan's criminal empire. He abandoned his birthright after nearly killing his brother Genji and went out on a journey to try perfect his combat skills, but also putting the ghosts of the past to rest. Hanzo is one of those characters, in my opinion, that reflect a lot of their character in the gameplay. You need to be decisive, you need to have a lot of knowledge about the map, your teammates, your strengths, your weaknesses. I mean, there's still like you can just aim and shoot and kill people, but if you have more knowledge about the game as a general, you will often excel playing Hanzo when you know how to flank and what targets you need to prioritize to win the fight. So now I would like to talk about his abilities and at least give you one tip on each ability before we move on to more the mentality side of playing Hanzo. Hanzo's passive is wall climb. It gives you the ability to traverse terrain and get in different positions that normal DPSs wouldn't. So what is this useful for? For starters, to flank, definitely. You can get in positions that would result in a pick, so your teammates can move in and win a team fight, for example. I think a good example is Hanamura attack in the small open window, so to say, by the door on the left side. You can climb up there and get maybe a scatter shot or just a headshot on an enemy, and that can result into a full push on the point. So utilizing this ability to flank is its main purpose. Then what is its second purpose? Well, I would call it a mix-up tool. So what do I mean when I say mix-up tool? Well, you see, when you draw your bow and wall climb, and when you jump off the wall, you actually have your bow still drawn. So what does this mean? Yeah, you can actually, in theory, in a 1v1 scenario, just randomly climb up a wall and he thinks, oh, what the hell is he doing? And then just put a scatter, turn around and shoot him on shoot his feet and just kill him, or just turn around and shoot him in the face. This gives you the ability to confuse your enemy for a couple of seconds, or they just, you know, shoot and kill you, but it gives you definitely the ability to mix things up in a 1v1 scenario, so that can be used for that also. Its main purpose is still to flank and actually also anti-flank, since if a flanker is on the high ground, maybe you can climb up and contest them and kill them so they don't have that advantage. Now let's move on to Hanzo's primary ability, his storm bow. Well, every time I shoot this thing, it feels like
I beat the fuck out of my so goddamn hard.
Hanzo is one of those characters you have a lot of pressure on yourself since you only have one arrow at a time. If you miss that arrow, you're either gonna get killed or kill someone. Hanzo is one of those characters, when you get headshots with your bow or you kill someone from far range, it feels just satisfying. So this is one of those weapons in Overwatch that are very satisfying to pull off something with. But when you were getting killed by Hanzo, you just get tilted to oblivion. And on screen we have some storm bow stats. How do you practice your aim with Hanzo then? Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. My recommendation to you is go into practice mode and then try to headshot all the bots without missing ones. Another good recommendation is to make a custom match and then have easy Ana bots and headshot only. This is a pretty common thing you do on McCree when you're trying to get really good with your aim. I think this can work really fine on Hanzo as well. The best method is still to go into quick play and train your aim there. I wouldn't recommend to go into comp and practice your aim, but when you have enough confidence in your aim, you can probably go into comp and just practice your general gameplay. Hello and welcome to another episode of Who Wants to be Hanzo Main. Today's question is, what is Hanzo's most useful arrow? Is it A, Dragon Strike? Is it B, Sonic Arrow? Is it C, Scatter Arrow? Or is it D, Storm Bow Arrow? You got 10 seconds to think about it. To all of you out there who said Scatter Arrow, that's the wrong answer. The right answer is Sonic Arrow, and here's why. If I said deadliest, then Scatter Arrow would definitely win, but I said useful here. That's the most important thing. Which one is Hanzo's most useful arrows? And that's definitely Sonic Arrow. And why is that? It's actually very simple. It gives you vision. Vision is a really important part of Overwatch gameplay. Widowmaker and Hanzo is one of the few characters that actually have this ability to see through walls, so to say. And Hanzo has it on a very low cooldown, Widowmaker has it as her ultimate. But, you know, the difference is Widowmaker can see the whole enemy team, Hanzo can only see a specific area. And here we have some Sonic Arrow stats. Sonic Arrow is very helpful to organize your team to do a synchronized push of some sort. It helps you to give the vision that's needed to inform your team where the enemies are. It's very simple, it just gives you vision, but it also gives you an idea where people are. You can use that to many advantages, but the most important one for Hanzo at least is you can see them through the wall and then you can do like a peek shot and kill them. Finally, we have come to Hanzo's most hated ability of all of his kit. It's a Scatter Arrow. The Scatter Arrow is his one-trick tool to kill someone in a heartbeat. This is why Hanzo is such a deadly flanker. This ability, I would say, makes him a really good flanker in just general. An average to good Hanzo knows how to utilize this very well, since this is the infuriating ability everyone hates online. This ability is not broken, but it's far from perfect, since a Hanzo needs to have a really good aim to actually use this ability effectively. And on screen we have some Scatter Arrow stats. So yes, if you have done your math correctly, it does 450 damage if all 6 scatter shot pieces hits you at once. So yeah, this is all around good ability. Lately, it's been talking about that they're gonna maybe change this ability or rework it in some matter. If it does, I will talk about that later. But for now, this is how the ability is at the moment. So let's move on to Hanzo's ultimate, Dragon Strike. Do you remember that? The first time you heard those words in game? You had no clue what's going on, but you saw in the distance 2 big blue dragons flying towards you. I do. I was like, nope, 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 nope. Too old for this shit. Hanzo's ultimate is Dragon Strike. He charges up his bow for a short amount of time, then throws out 2 big dragons that circle around each other in a straight line where you aim your crosshair at. And here we have some Dragon Strike stats. What makes this ability so goddamn good then? Well, you see, this is a team wipe ultimate in the right hands. And with the right setup, I might also add. So, how do you make this a team wipe ability then? Yeah, it's kind of simple, but at the same time not. You see, Hanzo is one of those characters in this game that requires a little bit of combo, to be fair. But also good coordination with your team to really utilize your Dragon Strike to its full potential. What I'm referring to is Zarya and Hanzo combo, to begin with at least. You have Zarya with her graviton that pulls everyone to a specific location for a couple of seconds. And then you have Hanzo that has a lot of damage in a specific area for a couple of seconds also. So if you're coordinated with a Zarya in comms, or a friend of yours, or however you want to play it, if you call out, I have Dragon Strike, she calls out, she has Graviton, you both get in position to wipe the whole team. She puts down the Graviton, gets a, let's say 5-man. And then you just ult on top of that, and that should kill everyone if they don't have a Zenyatta or something that can heal the amount of damage you do tick per second, pretty much. So Hanzo's ultimate needs some kind of setup, so to say, but it can also be used just as it is normally. That requires a little bit more knowledge and aim where the enemy team is, so to say. If you are fighting in a choke point with your team, what should we call it? Let's say Hanamura again, just for the sake of it. The Hanamura doorway to the first point. There's where both teams are pretty much fighting on who gets the pick and who can move in. In this clip here, I use my ult to area denial the enemy team so they can't anti-push our push, if that makes sense. But instead I actually caught the Mercy off guard and actually get her killed, meaning that it's a 6v5 situation. So this is one of many game-changing ultimates. I would say all ultimates in Overwatch is game-changing in some aspects, but Hanzo has the utility of kinda firing it anywhere since it has global range and it travels through terrain. So since Hanzo already has a very good kit in general, a lot of mobility, a lot of damage, and then he has his Dragon Strike on top of that, he is one of the best flankers and frontliners in the game in my opinion. He brings a lot of damage and a lot of utility to his team that maybe not a normal frontline soldier or McCree can bring to the table. And that's it for the first episode of how to get good at Hanzo. The next episode we're gonna focus a little bit more on the mentality side of things of playing Hanzo. And if you enjoyed this video you can always like and subscribe, because I will do more content like this in the future. So until next time guys, remember, stay awesome.